Here is something that almost nobody's talking about. Somewhere deep beneath the streets of Tel Aviv, there is a hidden room. It has no windows. It has thick walls built to survive explosions. It has its own power supply, its own air system, and its own communication lines that work even if the entire city above it is destroyed. This is where Israel's most powerful leaders go when a war breaks out, and Iran is now claiming that one of its missiles hit that exact location. Israel has not confirmed it. Israel has not denied it. What Israel did was seal off the streets, block the cameras, and say nothing. That silence is the story. To understand why this matters so much, you first need to understand what a command bunker actually is, and why every powerful country builds one. Think of it this way. When a country goes to war, its leaders need a safe place to keep making decisions. They cannot do that from a normal office building because that building can be bombed. So governments build secret underground rooms, sometimes very deep underground, where the most important people can keep running the country even, while the war happens above them. These rooms are called command bunkers. Every major country has them. The United States has them. Russia has them. China has them. Israel has them too. The difference with Israel is that its main command bunker sits beneath the middle of Tel Aviv, one of the busiest and most populated cities in the country. It is not hidden in a remote mountain or a desert somewhere. It is right there, underneath the heart of the city, hidden in plain sight. The military headquarters in Tel Aviv is a large compound called the Karya. From the outside, it looks like a collection of office buildings, military facilities surrounded by fences. Most people who drive past it every day have no idea what is underneath it. Beneath that compound, there are at least 2 underground facilities that defense analysts and journalists have been able to confirm over the years. The first is an intelligence center. It was built to survive electronic attacks, meaning that even if an enemy tries to shut down Israel's communications by jamming its signals, this center keeps working. It has special shielding built into its walls that blocks interference from the outside. Think of it like a phone call that cannot be interrupted, no matter what anyone does to try to break the connection. The second facility is known as the Fortress of Zion. This is a newer and deeper installation built directly under the headquarters building. The New York Times is given rare access to describe it. Reporters saw around 70 people sitting at multiple levels, facing large screens that tracked live events in real time. During active conflicts, thousands of soldiers worked there continuously, around the clock, never stopping. This is the nerve center. This is where Israel coordinates its military response when missiles are falling. This is the place Iran says it targeted. Now, before you decide whether that claim is believable or not, you need to know that this is not the first time Iran has aimed at this area. Back in June 2025, there was a 12-day war between Iran and Israel. During that conflict, Iranian missiles struck an apartment complex on Leonardo da Vinci Street in Tel Aviv. The building was called the Da Vinci Tower. The strike zone was immediately sealed off. Journalists were not allowed in. Israeli authorities said very little. Weeks later, a local newspaper reported the missile had landed extremely close to the building where the Prime Minister's office was located at the time. Shortly after the war ended, that Prime Minister's office began undergoing renovations. No official explanation was given. Here's the part that stands out the most. If you open Google Maps today and search for that street in Tel Aviv, the satellite images are blurred. You cannot see clearly what is there. Google does not even offer street-level photographs of the area directly in front of those towers. Russia's mapping service does the same thing. Both have removed or hidden the imagery for that exact spot. France 24, a major international news outlet, studied the Israeli media coverage of that strike and concluded that it had likely been intentionally delayed. One of Israel's most prominent newspapers waited 2 full weeks before publishing anything about the hit, even though photographs had already been shared online by regular people. So a missile landed near the most sensitive area of Tel Aviv. The zone was sealed. The satellite images were hidden. The media was blocked. And now, in March 2026, Iran is saying it hit the same location again. To understand the scale of what has been happening, here's what the last 10 days have looked like. On the first day of this current conflict, roughly 90 missiles were launched at Israel in a single night. The second day saw around 60. After that, the daily count dropped to approximately 20 missiles per day. But the missiles themselves became more powerful and more destructive. By the 5th of March, Iranian military sources said that more than 500 missiles and over 2,000 drones had been fired in total. Around 40% of that was aimed at Israel, and the remaining 60% at American military positions across the region. These are not small rockets. These are large, guided weapons carrying hundreds of kilograms of explosives, capable of traveling over 2,000 kilometers before reaching their target. One missile in particular has changed how analysts are thinking about this war. Iran deployed a weapon that carries a special kind of warhead. Instead of one large explosion in one place, this warhead opens up, while still high in the sky, releasing around 20 smaller explosive devices that scatter across a wide area. Imagine dropping a bucket of rocks from a tall building instead of one heavy stone. The damage spreads across a much larger zone. This type of weapon was confirmed to have landed in central Tel Aviv. Emergency responders found impact points spread across a large area. A man in his 40s was found on the ground with severe shrapnel injuries from scattered fragments. Now think about what that means for an underground bunker. A traditional missile needs to land directly on top of a buried facility to cause serious damage, but a weapon that scatters explosives across a wide surface area does something different. It can destroy the ventilation pipes that bring air into the underground rooms. It can destroy the communication cables that connect the bunker to the outside world. It can collapse the stairways and access points that people use to enter and exit. Even if the main rooms survive, the facility can be cut off and disabled. That is why the type of weapon matters as much as where it lands. Israel's air defense systems are considered among the strongest in the world. Multiple layers of missiles and interceptors are designed to shoot down incoming threats before they reach the ground. Most people assume these systems stop everything. They do not. Over the past 10 days, at least 4 confirmed strikes have hit Israeli territory. One of the deadliest happened in a town called Beit Shemesh on the 1st of March. A missile carrying roughly 500 kilograms of explosives hit a civilian underground shelter. The shelter had 2 floors of stairs leading down to it. 9 people were killed inside. Investigators later determined that even a shelter built perfectly to government specifications would not have survived a direct hit from a missile of that size. An interceptor was fired at that missile. It engaged. It simply did not connect. The total count since the fighting began stands at over 1,600 Israelis hospitalized, and civilians have been killed. The air defense systems are working, but they are not perfect. And in a war where the enemy is firing hundreds of missiles, even a small percentage of misses can cause enormous damage. Here is where the story becomes even more significant. While Iran is claiming to have struck Israel's underground command center, Israel has already done exactly that to Iran and showed the world the footage. On the 6th of March, approximately 50 Israeli fighter jets dropped around 100 bombs on an underground command bunker in central Tehran, capital of Iran. Israel confirmed the strike publicly. The bunker reportedly sat beneath multiple city streets and contained meeting rooms and command chambers used by Iran's senior military leadership. Israel's intelligence units had spent years mapping every corridor of that facility before the strike was ordered. The footage was released. The confirmation was explicit. Iran has not released any equivalent footage for its claimed strike on Tel Aviv. There are no videos showing the damage. There is no official documentation. What there is a sealed-off street, a blurred satellite image, and the same kind of silence that surrounded the June 2025 strike on the Da Vinci Tower. That does not prove Iran's claim is true, but it also does not prove it is false. Because the absence of evidence is not the same thing as evidence of absence, especially when the area where the strike allegedly happened is still blocked off, and the imagery is still hidden. Both governments are now doing the same thing to each other. They are hunting for the other side's hidden underground rooms, where the leaders and the generals make their decisions. Whoever finds those rooms and destroys them gains an enormous advantage, because the other side loses the ability to coordinate and respond. Israel found Iran's room and hid it. Iran is claiming it found Israel's room and hid it. One side showed the world what happened. The other side locked down the streets and went quiet. The broader situation surrounding this conflict has reached a point. Last night, the Fox people fartland the Middle East. The price of oil has crossed $115 per barrel, the highest it has been in years. This is a direct result of disrupted shipping lanes and damaged energy infrastructure in the Gulf region. When oil gets more expensive, everything that uses oil or is transported by trucks and ships also gets more expensive. Fuel, food, everyday products reaches ordinary people in ordinary countries who have nothing to do with this conflict. More than 1,300 Iranian civilians have been confirmed dead, including nearly 200 children. 7 American soldiers have been killed across the region. The United States has sunk more than 30 Iranian naval vessels. Hezbollah, the armed group based in Lebanon, has started firing across the Israeli border. Armed groups in Iraq have joined with their own strikes, and on the 8th of March, Iran announced a new supreme leader. The previous leader's own son was installed to take over. He has never held a government position before, has no military title or experience. He was handed leadership of a country in the middle of a war. That last fact is perhaps the most important one to sit with. Iran's new leader inherits a military that has already used a significant portion of its missile stockpile in 10 days of fighting. He inherits a war that is being fought simultaneously against Israel and the United States, 2 of the most militarily advanced countries on Earth. And he steps into this role at the exact moment when questions about Iran's command bunker, its leadership structure, and its ability to keep coordinating its military operations are at the forefront of every intelligence analysis in the world. Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, the streets near the military headquarters remain sealed. The satellite images remain blurred. Israeli officials remain silent about what, if anything, was damaged beneath those streets. 2 governments. 2 sets of hidden rooms. 2 sides trying to destroy the other's ability to make decisions under fire. And neither side has yet defined what the end of this war actually looks like. That is where things stand right now. The answer to what really happened beneath Tel Aviv may not come from any official announcement. It may come from a renovation, a personnel shuffle, or a change in how Israel's military operates in the weeks and months ahead. Sometimes the silence itself is the confirmation.